what will make President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to lose 2027 presidential election? These are the following facts, following reasons why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will lose 2027 presidential election. Number one, the economic realities condition situation of Nigeria, condition of living of Nigerians are important things you must talk about. Number one, as I've said, how does the economic is impacting on Nigeria, economic policies of government Bola Ahmed Tinubu is impacting on Nigerians? Of course, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy from president products, the cost of it, the cost of buying the cost of other items went higher. Of every other item of living went very, very high. Number two is that, of course, when you remove this money from personal products, you should know, you all know that the prices of other things will skyrocket. And what is the effect? What program, what plan do you have in place to make sure that you cushion the effects, relieve people of the suffering of the suffering they will experience as a result of increment in the cost of living items? And we did not see much of this from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This means that Nigerians are now buying many costs of items of living at a very high amount. And it cuts across every region of the country, whether southwest, south, north, northwest, north central. Every Nigerians are buying, are now, spending much now for their sustenance, for keeping, for living, to be alive, to be sustaining, and to be, mostly on food, transportation, and everything. And if Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made a elaborate scheme of mitigating the effect of this excessive cost of item of living on Nigerian occasion as a result of removal from personal products, price of personal products. If there is subsidy from removal of personal products, it will have, the whole Nigeria will have seen the effects. We have seen positive changes. Cost of living will have dropped. Nigeria will have been, buying things at a cheaper price. But it was not so. They just left Nigerians to be buying basic item of living at a very high amount. And there was no increment in the take-home pay of Nigerians. Those who are doing their businesses, there is no appreciable government support for them in terms of provision of grants, loan, yes, where you can even make loan available to them, grants, support, social securities, all these things are supposed things that will have made the cost of living for Nigeria to have dropped so that they will not feel too much impact of this economic policy of removal of subsidy on premium products. But Nigerians were just left at their own to sort it out, by themselves for themselves. It is Nigeria where they are being left to know how they will look for extra money to make up the extra cost of living that policies are brought upon them. And when Nigerians look at, the economic importance of President Tinubu on their life, is it of importance, of high value, of less value? Then they can see that they are incurring higher cost of living now than it was in past, it's even worse than other governments. So in this case, they will have no choice to now say, okay, if the government have brought this high cost of living on us, when it comes to living, when it comes to the time of election, well, how would they express their opinion? These are facts that President Tinubu must be realized, that the removal of subsidy price, or the money or removal of subsidy money has impacted negatively on Nigerians. The money made from that subsidy was not spent to ameliorate the suffering that excessive price has brought upon cost of living of Nigerians. If President Tinubu has spent that money to provide social amenities, I'm talking of like food supplements, food support, transportation, provision of subsidy on transportation, provision of alternative public transport that people can take to their offices, drop in cost of feeding. People can buy food at a cheaper rate. Government can bring food from many countries, even from all over the world, and subsidize the food item on the table of Nigeria so that people can buy food at a cheaper rate. Cost of feeding is not excessively high. What about electricity? The cost of electricity as well is already brought down. Cost of production cost of education, school fees, and all these things. If government has spent extra money made from that subsidy, if government has spent it on basic living standard of people of Nigeria, Nigeria will have felt much relief from the excess of cost of living the removal of subsidy brought upon them. But since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu left Nigeria to sort all this matter out on their own, they're the one that's looking for how to make extra money to take up I mean to mitigate the excessive cost these are brought upon them, to provide for the extra money, extra income they require to get for to make this, to continue to make a living in Nigeria without government showing support for them. This is a serious point that it may be in the hearts, in the mind of people that will determine how they will vote, the shape of the voting of 2027, because all Nigerian tribes cut across every region of the country. There's no section of the country that is buying things cheaper. Every cost of living is very high on every Nigerian, wherever they are living, where they are residing. This high cost of living is very, very important that President Tinubu should have taken paramount as a, as concern that once the removal of petroleum subsidy has been carried out, the after effect, the high cost of living effect on Nigerians, they will make an adequate provision. But instead of that, what the president was telling us was that he gave the money to the governors, and the governors never reflected the excess allocation being gotten from this money on top of the energies in their states. So President Tinubu will have taken the bull by the horn, spend that money, much of that money, directly by federal government on those critical sectors that touch the life of Nigerians, which Nigeria will have felt high sense of relief, such that they will not be negatively, harshly impacted by the removal of this subsidy petroleum products. But as it is now, we are left on our own to sort that among ourselves. This is a very good, formidable factor that will shape the mind of Nigeria, because if you are the government, that the government policy, the program of government, the policy of government doesn't impact on you positively in terms of cost of living to drop and raise your standard of living. Rather, it's your standard of living as is dropping, cost of living is high. It will naturally touch them. It's naturally impact on them what direction and who they should cast their vote for in 2027 election. So this is very, very important, because the source of any government, any program of any government is felt in the life of the people. If you want to measure the success, the governance of any good government, it is the development in the life of its people. And what type of development? Higher standard of living and drop a cost of living. These are the two indices you have to use. Anything less than that is a waste of time. People must now be living in their standard of living must be high, and their cost of living must drop. It doesn't go the same direction. One must go up, one must come down. This is the most fundamental two factors in this system. Must check in the life of people. The policy of government must impact these two things in the life of people. Any policy that does not impact, a higher standard of living in the life of their citizen and lower cost of living in the life of the citizen, that government policy has not impacted possibly in the life of people. So it may shape the way the citizen will vote for that party in the next election, either to return that party or throw that party out. And in this case, as it is presently, that President Tinubu has never, take a bull by the horn to correct this, to impart on this. Let's wait and keep our fingers and see how the election will go 27. It's not too late for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to start from now and be to come out with multiple welfare packages, granting of loans, granting of make loans available to small entrepreneurship, platforms, entrepreneurs, and giving of grants to people, bringing public buses, bringing food, subsidizing food for people in Nigeria to purchase, so that the cost of living can drop, bringing palliative and many other cushion effects, policies and programs, and that governments can bring on board, that will reduce the cost of and the stress of living of Nigerians. Before 27 election, if they start it now, it's not too late. After Jonathan made appreciable changes in 3 months in the last 2015 elections, when he suspended election for 3 months, and there was improvement in the security before the election was eventually held. So we still have more than 3 months between now and the election, which January. We still have about 7 months. So President Tinubu can still do something appreciable to begin to touch the life of Nigerians, bring cost of living down, raise the standard of living by massively bringing the money, excess money made from crude oil, from the removal of subsidy in petroleum, and be to spend it directly on the life of Nigerians so that their cost of living will drop, their standard of living will high. By so doing, this is what can always, I think, can can shape the heart of people of Nigeria to see, to endorse Tinubu for, for another election. But if President Tinubu does not think along this line, well, let's wait and see and see what the outcome of election of 27 election will be. But Tinubu must know the current impact of economic policy, particularly removal subsidy on President product, how it has affected the life of Nigerians. If you go this way and do possibly, yes, let's see what will happen. Thank you.